Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Don't know when you're going to see this. This is Devon Dickerson, YCD counselor. Just came on here just to rap with y'all for a minute. Want to prepare y'all for the real world when you get ready to go out and really get a job and just do certain things just to prepare. Today, I'm just going to really talk to you about interpersonal skills. Here's one tip for when you're doing even application and stuff, and that it's important to emphasize your interpersonal skills in your cover letter and resume, and then back up those claims with your behavior during your job interview. We're going to just talk about communication. Let's talk about communication. We're going conflict and resolution. Just going to just talk about some stuff just to prepare you, just so you can get ready for the real world. So let's talk about, as we're digging into this, uh, interpersonal skills. Um, we're going to look at employability skills and why they're important both to get hired and to succeed in the workplace. You must understand that many of the most highly sought after skills today are soft skills pertaining to your ability to communicate and work with a team, or hard skills focus on basic technology. These skills are core skills and traits needed in nearly every job now. These are general skills that make someone desirable to an organization. Hiring managers almost always look out for employees with these skills. So, whatever you're going for, you need to make sure that you're knowledgeable in what you're doing with skills and stuff. The soft skills, they allow you to work well with each other, apply knowledge to solve problems to fit into any work environment. They also include the professional skills that enable you to be successful in the workplace. And there are also seen as transferable skills because you can apply them to a job in any industry. We also need to understand that employable skills comes under communication skills, and these refer to one's ability to convey information clearly to others. Employers want employees with strong written, verbal, nonverbal communication skills. Part of being a strong communicator also includes being a good listener. Employees need to be able to understand the questions and concerns of their clients and listen to their employer's direction. And this is all falling under the category of employability skills. We must also understand that this is also a teamwork effort. Working with the city, we work as a team. One person just cannot run all this by themselves. So it is important in almost any work setting. If an employee works on a number of groups or projects, he or she needs to be able to get along well with others and carry their share of workload. Even if an employee does not do a lot of team projects, he or she is still needs to be able to get along with other colleagues. And speaking in that, that was in employability skills. I was just talking to you about employability skills, and even with that, let's work on conflict. I think we're going to talk about conflict management, conflict resolutions, because you will find some things on jobs where you might not agree or something, and it's so much when it comes to conflict resolution. But conflict resolution skills are required for a wide range of positions across many job sectors. This requirement is based around the fact that the conflict tends to reduce productivity and create a difficult work environment, leading to unwanted turnover in staff and reduced morale. Individuals who are able to resolve conflicts are often excellent mediators and able to manage difficult personalities from a place of empathy. Conflict resolution is the process by which two or more parties reach a peaceful resolution to a dispute in a workplace. There can be variety of types of conflict. Conflict may occur between coworkers, between supervisors, between service providers, anywhere you work. It's not saying it's going to happen all the time, but it might happen. Some conflicts reflect real disagreements about how an organization should function. But the resolution of conflicts in the workplace typically involves some or all of the following processes: recognition by the parties involved that the problem exists, mutual agreement to address the issue and find some resolution, an effort to understand the perspective and concerns of the opposing individual or group, identifying changes in attitude, behavior, and approaches to work by both sides that will lessen negative feelings, recognizing triggers to episodes of conflict, interventions by third parties such as human resources representatives or higher level managers to mediate. Basically, if you can't solve it, we're going up a level. Willingness by one or both parties to compromise, talk about it. You got to be a good listener when it comes to that stuff. Agreement on a plan to address differences, monitoring the impact of any agreements for change, disciplining or terminating employees who resist efforts to diffuse conflicts. Basically, if you can't get the chip off your shoulder, they might not ask you to come back. So you must learn how to have patience when you're at work, because there's some things that will make you very upset. You might not agree with everything, but sometimes you just got to brush it off your shoulder and later on down the line handle it. In dealing with all that, assertiveness, supervisor might take the incentive to convene a meeting between two employees who have engaged in public dispute. An employee might seek out a person with whom they're having a conflict, who they're having conflict, to suggest working together to find ways to coexist more peacefully. We're going to also let us in interpersonal skills, we're going to talk about listening too as well. You must be a good listener, because sometimes in the workplace you might get something that you don't really understand. So you got to be a good listener. Maybe even write some stuff down so you can have it all. I know myself, sometimes I have to write it down and put it somewhere because I do forget a lot. But you must be a good listener. This is a highly valued soft skill sought by all employers. After all, people with disability are more likely to understand tasks and projects, build strong relationships with coworkers, and also able to solve problems and resolve conflicts. Employers look to demonstrate listening skills during job interviews. Discover why good listening skills are vital in the workplace. Also learn how to build good listening habits while avoiding bad ones. The listening process within the work context is the process by which you gain an understanding of needs, demands, and preferences of your stakeholders throughout direct interaction. A stakeholder could be anyone from your boss, a client, customer, coworker, upper management, board member, interviewer, or job candidate. And there are two components to listening and active listening in the workplace: attention and reflection. Active listening involves holding eye-to-eye contact, nodding, having good posture, mirroring the speaker's body language to show genuine interest in what they're saying. In addition to these nonverbal cues, you must also allow the speaker to finish their thought in its entirety. This is a listener. We're talking about a good listener. You got to listen when you're at work, because you could miss something very key to what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You got to listen to something key. Good listeners always strive to fully understand what others want to communicate, particularly when the statement lacks clarity. Listening demands the attempt to decode and interpret verbal messages and nonverbal cues, like tone of voice, facial expressions, physical posture. Of course, you don't want to be in meetings all slouched around and yawning and stuff like that. Active listeners also show their curiosity by asking questions. That's something that you should do, especially if you don't understand. You do that and you make a great impression. Just getting more clarity on what was already said. Through body language and other cues, good listeners communicate to the speaker that they're listening. Additionally, they encourage and welcome the thoughts, opinions, and feelings of others. One way to demonstrate active listening is to allow the interviewer to complete each question and statement before responding. One thing you don't want to do is don't interrupt, and be sure that your responses genuinely answers the questions. Remember that it's perfectly fine to take a few moments to frame out the right response. Doing so shows that you fully observe the speaker's words and are considerate enough to formulate the best answer. So again, even if you want to take notes while he's speaking, so you can have an understanding of everything that's going on. But then you still have the bad listener part. And the bad listener interrupting indicates that your listening skills are undeveloped. Likewise, responding in a way that fails to answer the question will reflect poorly on your listening skills, especially in a job interview. Talking too much is also problematic, as proper conversation should be well balanced with parties getting equal time to speak. Monopolizing a conversation prevents you from listening to the other party from fully expressing what they want to say in the end, and this will lead to you making a poor impression. You must, we stress this, you must be able to stay focused and listen, so you can have everything you need. Even if you don't understand, you can wait till the meeting is over and you can pull the person aside just to get clarification, so that way when the time comes, you can do the job correctly. Again, write it down, record it if need be. If you need to just record the meeting or something, and so you can just be prepared. It's really important in some jobs that you really do that. Let's do examples of effective listening. As a job candidate shares her understanding of an unclear questions during an interview and asks if she has it right. This is examples of effective listening. An interviewer notices that a candidate doesn't look her in the eye when asserting a key strength. Effective listening. Meeting facilitator encourages a recent group of members to share her views about proposal. At the end of a performance review, an employee restates the specific areas in which his supervisor acts to improve. Effective listening, you must be able to be hearing at all times, so you can have everything you need. Also with that, we're going to I'm just throwing some definitions and stuff out there to y'all so y'all can understand. Y'all can go back and watch this again, just to get clarity on some stuff. Just like I said, this is just to help you down the line when you really start working. Let's talk about positive attitude. Employers want to hire employees who make the office a brighter place. They want people with a friendly, positive demeanor. This doesn't mean you have to be the most social person in the office, but you have to be willing to develop some sort of positive rapport with your colleagues. Social skills. What are social skills and why they're essential for the workplace success? Social skills are also called interpersonal skills and are those we use to interact and communicate with other people. These skills include both verbal skills, the way you speak to other people, and nonverbal skills, your body language, gestures, and eye contact. We should value our social skills because they're important soft skills. The personal qualities, as opposed to professional hard skills acquired through education, training, and job experience that are key to interacting well with others. Almost every job requires social skills. Even the job that we're in right now as YCD counselors, we have to have social skills because we have to speak to each individual kid that has come on. We also have to speak to site managers. We have to talk to our bosses. It's a lot of social skills and communication skills that has us interacting a lot. Almost every job requires social skills. If you work on a team, you need to be able to get along with others. If you work with clients, you must listen attentively to their questions and concerns. And if you are a manager, you will be called upon to motivate employees. And that's what we're doing here with everyone who works in the office, is doing this video to motivate you and to prepare you to get out there and work. And even if your job does not involve interacting with other people, you still need to possess a few social skills to interact with your employer and your colleagues. You might not be the funniest person, but you still need to understand and you still need to talk and have the social skills. Because social skills are so important, almost every employer looks for job candidates with these components. It is therefore vital that you demonstrate that you have strong social skills in your resume, cover letter, and interview. These are some social skills that employer seeks for employment. And then there's some tips that I'm going to give on how to demonstrate that you have social skills through your job search. Empathy. Empathy is a very important skill to interact with others. You must be able to understand how they are feeling. Empathy is especially critical when dealing with clients who come to you with questions or problems. And you need to express genuine concerns for their issues as well as helping to solve them. Cooperation is especially important when you work on a team where you will be required to partner with others to reach a common goal. However, even if you do not work on a team, cooperation is still necessary on those occasions when you are asked to work alongside colleagues to help achieve goals of your organization. Of course, I know some of y'all are probably doing some stuff over the summer that eventually you're trying to achieve some stuff and some goals. So you must learn how to work well with others when it comes to that. Verbal communication, verbal and written communication. Verbal communication is the ability to express yourself using clear language that can understand. You'll need solid verbal communication skills whenever you speak to others in person on the phone. Written communication comes into play